Welcome to Roxtalks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. I'm Roxanne Wilson, and today we got to chat about something. See, I just got back from a mastermind for memberships that I'm part of, and there was a message, there was something that was said by the head of the mastermind, Stu McLaren, that threw me. And I won't give him credit. I don't think he said it first. In fact, I've looked it up and it's been said many a time, but it was the first time I heard it. So he gets credit in my book. And what he said is, are you tripping over dollars to save pennies? Or are you tripping over dollars to pick up pennies? When he said that, I was like, whoa, that landed. And it got me thinking in a lot of ways about things that we do as network marketers that perhaps is more like tripping over the dollars just so we can pick up those pennies. Let that marinate for a second. But before we start talking about that and dive into things, I think I have to remind you about the very ever so important business tracker bundle. It'd be bad if I didn't talk about that. The CEO of You business tracker bundle. And it'd be bad because this is really the perfect time to be looking at that. It's been a labor of love. In fact, a lot of sleepless nights working with developers, letting some developers go to get this right. But it was something that I was so passionate about because it has become clear and clear to me that as network marketers, we don't know our numbers. And some of you may not really ever want to know your numbers. And I hear you, but as network marketers, we need to know our numbers. We can't rely on thinking that we're selling a certain amount or that our volume is what it may or may not be to make and dictate the decisions we make. In fact, I would venture to say that knowledge is power and numbers are power. And when you know how your business is doing, when you can see it easily and see the significance and the trends and all those things, you can make those decisions about what specials, for example, you want to participate in. You can make the decision on what parts of your business you need to be focusing on more. And you can make a decision about what your goals are for your business and how you're feeling about those. And that's why I spent all this time working on it and perfecting this tracker, this business building tracker. Now, what I love about the business builder tracker is that it's not just here are your numbers, here's your volume. I mean, you can go to your back office and get that. Don't you agree? It breaks all of the numbers you need to know down and shows it to you in a pretty graph for those who don't like numbers. So you can see how you're going each month and how you're going in regard to your goals and where you actually are. I also added to it something that probably is my favorite part of it, which is a goal tracker. And with the goal tracker, it actually shows you specifically and helps you determine what goals you should be setting for the month. It's not just numbers goal you need to be setting. There's other aspects and things you need to be setting to be successful with your goals. And then again, it shows you that tracker. So I'm going to try and remember without looking. I should probably look. All of the things that are in this business tracker bundle. Inside the bundle, you get the volume, the personal volume tracker, the team volume tracker, the downline tracker. You also get your goal tracker, finance tracker. I didn't even mention this, but we need to know how much we're spending and how much we're making and all these things you don't even think about, like postage or samples or envelopes count towards how much you're spending, or even the amount of money you spend on your own product for yourself. That all counts. We've got to be counting those things so we can see how our business is doing. And if you think, I don't need to know this, Roxanne, I really don't, you do, because if you ever want someone to join you in business, you've got to be really clear on your business. I often hear people say, I often hear people trip up on recruiting people because they're worried about not knowing if the person they're bringing in can really have the success that they did. Well, if you don't even really know what your success is, how can you even answer that question? I know there's more in the bundle. There's so many good things. And the bundle is valued at only $97. Here's the great news, though. You can get it right now for $47. That's between now and the Sunday night, if you're listening to this live, which would be the 8th. The 7th, excuse me, the 7th Pacific time, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Then it will go up. It'll go back to $97. But if you'd like to get this, and now is such a great time to get it because you have 2 months to really rock through it. And then you're kicking off 2022. And P.S. And by the way, you get the 2022 version automatically by signing up now. How great is that? And almost forgot to mention, one of the reasons that there were sleepless nights is because I've worked painstakingly on customizing it for so many different network marketing companies. So we have a plethora of network marketing companies that we have a customized bundle. And if your bundle is not on that list, grab the classic bundle, which is universal. And I show you how to customize it. Plus, if when yours comes up, we'll send you the one that we make for that as well too. So it's a no-brainer. $47. Make sure you sign up by Sunday. And to get it, you just simply go to ceobusinesstracker.com. I love that we're talking about the business tracker because it does take me to that spot where we're talking about the quote that I heard that stopped me in my tracks. Are you tripping over dollars to pick up pennies? Because when I even think about the business building tracker, how many of you are like $47? I don't want to $47. And you're thinking like, why, what, ha. And I have to ask you, $47. Think about $47. $47, less than $50, or even $97, depending on where you're listening, to have a tracker that helps you really not only focus on your business, but it will help you build your business. Isn't your business worth $97? And if it's not, then maybe it's not a business. Like having the control and the focus, is that not worth it? But sometimes we look for, is there a coupon? Have you ever done this? I've done this, y'all, where I'm like buying, like the other day, we were going to get something on like Uber Eats or one of those. And I was about to check out and I was like, wait, I want to see if there's a coupon. And the reason we were ordering Uber Eats was because I wanted to save time. I didn't feel like cooking. It was a day where my food delivery service didn't come in and I wanted to save time. And I literally sat there looking for a dang coupon to get, I don't know, 10%, $5 off, something like that. And all of a sudden I stopped myself. I'm like, Roxanne, you are wasting time, which is what you were trying to save, sitting here looking for a dang online coupon when what you really want to be doing is saving that time and getting that food. Same thing when we do. Like we get so bogged down in I want to save money that we forget the value of what we're missing out on. You know what the value is? If I just gotten the food then, it would have, because there's that window. I would have gotten my food an hour earlier. Scott and I wouldn't have been hangry, but I was so busy looking for a coupon. The time, which is valuable, and being able to have sustenance is so much more important than getting $5 off. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So what I am doing right now, and I encourage you to do too, is let's think about what are the things that we are so fixated on. I got to save, or I've got to, there's so many people who pride themselves on saying, hey, I'm thrifty. I've heard people even say I'm cheap. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But my question is, do we ever go for the deal so much we are actually missing out on something even better? And as business people, we have to think about that, right? I mean, when you see something that could help your business and you think, oh no, I'm going to wait for a sale, which PS, and by the way, there's not going to be another, that is the sale for the business tracker bundle. But what are we missing out on? Are we missing out on the ability that something like that bundle can have to grow our business and to help us have that control and that focus on our business? I'd say we are, but we're so fixated on the save. I'll give you another example. Flowdesk, which is, if you recall, they just finished their beta a few days ago. The first of the month or second of the month was the official beta's over. They've had this beta open for like 2 years. The beta has been wide open. People have been able to get in for $19. You lock that in for life. Amazing. So now they're going up to $47. And what's interesting about that is that even the picking an email system, right? I had people, when I said, get Flowdesk, this was even before the beta was closing. They're like, I don't want to pay $19 a month. No, I can't justify spending $19 a month on that. Now, and again, this is no judgment. I'm just using this example. I can't spend $19 a month on it. So I'm going to use MailChimp. Oh, I called out the chimp. I'm going to use MailChimp. I said it twice. Instead, because it's free. Now, unless the chimp has improved and they need to let me know, the chimp is not nice. The chimp is hard to use. And when you do start using it, it's not user-friendly. When you do start using the chimp, and then it's like, okay, now I want these other features, you have to pay for it anyway. I was like, what was the point of that? Like, really, what was the point? But then the other thing is this $19 a month for an email system. Like, I should wish, if only, but that is Flowdesk, or that was Flowdesk, I should say. Here's what's interesting about that. Tripping over dollars to save pennies. I don't want to spend $19. So I'm either going to use a system that's really hard to use. It's going to take more of my time, or I'm not going to use a system at all. I want to save money. So I'm not going to use an email system. I do not want to pay $19 a month. Okay. I hear you. But here's what I also hear, because I see it and I teach it, right? Network marketers just like you, who are sending out emails and getting sales that end up being customers that are like on the auto replenishment, whatever you want to call it, replenishment, that where you're making a lot more than $19, where you're actually making more than what it costs a year. You know, I have to shout out to one of my Social Stories Pro members who, she took the plunge. She's like, okay, I did it. I switched over to Flowdesk, and she already had an email system. And I was, if you have one and you love it, I'm like, I said, go with what you have if you love it, but there's this option as well too. So she decided to switch. I just got a Vox from her today, and she was so excited because she's in two companies. I won't say any more than that because you might like know who she is. But anyhow, she was so excited because somebody reached out to her and asked her if they could have a party. And so why did they reach out to her? Because they're on her email list. And in her email, she had mentioned the opportunity to host a party or an event. And someone emailed back and she said, Roxanne, it feels so good. I'm so happy to not be reaching out to people asking them if they want to host a party, but someone came to me because I use the email system. Think about that. Now think about, so now she has, how much would for those of you who have party companies or event companies, how much would it be worth to you for someone to come to you saying, can I host a party? Okay, think about that. Like, seriously. I mean, yes, you ask people and they're great hosts. I'm not saying they're not, but someone who's asking for it is probably going to be someone you don't have to like keep on running after to make sure they're sending out the invites, that they're being a great host. She's saying, I want to have one. How great is that? And then she's opening up her references and her group of friends for my client, just like that, from an email, from a stinking email. So when we think about, oh no, it's $19, I don't want to do that, we have to think and reframe it of, what will this do for my business? Having an email system will give me power and control and an ability to communicate on a way that's not owned by the Zucks and all the other people, that I can engage with my list. And lo and behold, boom. And we've had people on the podcast before, like Dr. Lisa Antone, who repeatedly gets sales from her email. Now she'll tell you personally, she was a late adopter. She said she drug her feet. She got Flowdesk. She wasn't using it. And finally she did. And then what happened? Every time she sends out emails, the woman gets sales. Do you think she's made her money back? And whenever anyone sends me a note like that, the first thing I say is, look, you just made your money back and then some for your email system this month. And like I said, it's just like the business tracker bundle. Listen, I don't love numbers. I don't love numbers. I am mastering the love of numbers, but I'm like a girl, like that's me. Okay. But I do love to see my numbers to know how I'm doing. I love the analytics. I do. My dad's a statistician, so I probably should love numbers. And if you can imagine what it's like to be the daughter of a Trinidadian stats professor, which means that when I was little and growing up, and while others got to have like vacation, I had to bring my mathematics books with me. Mathematics, that's how they pronounce it, full on mathematics, and do my work. When I would be hanging out on weekends, I had my homework to do. That wasn't homework like from school. That was the work my dad gave me. Yes. I was doing like PSAT things as well when I was like in 5th grade. Anyhow, the life of a daughter of a statistician. Does that make you're like, oh, this makes so much more sense now. But here's the thing. Being able, and if you were someone who has an email system, but you're not tracking your numbers, I want you to think about this like this. Do you remember what it was like when you first got the analytics for the emails and you were able to see who's opening it and how often they're opening it. And it forecasted how you should spend your time, right? Think about that when it comes to like a business tracker bundle. Now you'll literally be able to see where you should be spending your time. And, oh, I didn't spend time on this. So perhaps that's why this is not happening. Oh, I can do that special offer, or I can buy into my team's blah, 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 because right now I am spending less than I'm making, or actually I'm going to sit this one out because I'm spending more than I'm making. It gives you the ability to really make informed decisions about your business and not just go on every whim that you have or see someone saying this works for me and think I've got to be doing this. It's a powerful, powerful tool. But when we think about, because it was funny because, I think about the business tracker bundle, my goal with that. And if you listen to the Lou Lawo podcast, finances, we talked about finances and it's like, oh my gosh, not knowing your numbers got a lot of people in a lot of trouble. And not only in Lou Lawo, but all across network marketing. So my goal is to get this into as many people's hands as possible because there's nothing out there like it at all. I say that, but I say that because I've been told that by many a network marketing professional when I showed to them. And I hear that from those of you who've gotten and you've started using it. But you'd think, hey, Roxanne, if you want to get it into the hands of everyone, why not just give it to everyone for free? I've done that before, right? I have given I gave my very first course when I started my business. I gave it for free to people that I knew, asking them if they would go ahead and use it and experience it and all the things and give me feedback. None of them opened it, not a one. And then they turned around and bought it. Y'all, we value things we pay for more than we value what we get for free. True story. How many of you have given out a sample and that woman is still in the bottom of her bag? She still hasn't gotten around to using it. It's 2 years later and you're like, for the love. This is why I don't believe in giving away free samples. I don't. Because when someone pays for it, even if it's just for shipping, they're more likely to use it. So no, I am not giving the business tracker bundle away for free. Au contraire, mon frère. And I say that with a lot of certainty when I say that to you, because I know that if you pay for it, you will use it. And I know that when you use it, you will get a transformation. So I feel really comfortable in that, saying no. And I feel comfortable with the price as well at 97, let alone 47. Because I know that when you do that, you will use it. And it's a tax write-off. There you go. You're welcome. That should be the first entry. Put in your expenses on that. Oh my goodness, I love you guys. But seriously, what are ways in our life? I was thinking about other things. The food delivery I told you, but the food delivery in general, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you or not, but sometimes we spend so much time when it's things that we should probably not be doing ourselves because of the time, like the opportunity cost. I was an economics major. I know I said I don't like numbers as an economics major. Make that make sense. It was on my way to law. I did the research. I'm such a nerd. Scott, literally, whenever you ask something, I'm like, let me research. He's like, are you going to research it? I'm like, yes, I am. How'd you know? But I literally looked up because I knew I wanted to be a Supreme Court justice, which means I knew I needed to go to law school, which means I needed to do some pre-law. And I looked up and researched the majors that got into the best law schools, and economics was it. So I was like, I'm in. I'm not even kidding. Anyhow, as an economics major, we talk about opportunity costs, and it's the cost of not doing something. It's what we people don't often talk about, but is an important variable in all things. So when you decide you're not going to do something, what is the cost of not doing it? Or when you decide you're doing something, what is the cost? What is the opportunity cost of doing it? And when you think about, for example, I think about the fact that, lo and behold, a few months ago, because I was ordering out every night, and I'm like, this is not good for us, but I am totally dog tired. I do not feel like, what does dog tired mean anyway? It probably means what this little one is doing. Where is she? She's over there behind me somewhere over there. I did not have the bandwidth to want to cook. It was the end of the day. I'd have long day, clients and doing lives and podcasts and all things. I love it. And I was like, I just relax. And I had two sets of eyes looking at me, Baylor and Scott. And I was like, y'all, I don't even need like me. I'll just eat, I don't know, popcorn. Give me some wine. I'm good. And so at that moment, I was like, this is ridiculous. We're eating out all the time. We're spending money. We don't need to be spending all that money, like 3 times the amount, right? But more importantly, it was the calories and the food. And so I found a meal delivery service. And at first I thought, is this silly? Is this ridiculous? Y'all know it's not, because I can be in here in my office doing my thing, and Scott goes and gets his own food. It's amazing. So I heat up dinner, but he gets his lunches, he gets his snacks. It's down to a routine. Now, Baylor, on the other hand, I still have to get her food for her, but it has saved me so much time. I don't know what I'm eating tonight. I just know that I'm going to go in there and open up the container, saute it, and bada bing, there it is. Now, do I pay money for that? I do. And every week I'm like, I don't regret it. Every week I'm like, I'm so glad, because I know the time it's saving me, the grocery shopping it's saving me, right? That time, that takes time. Even if I'm doing Instacart, that puppy takes time. It's saving me the time of cooking and putting it together that I can just shell. The opportunity cost. Now I could say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend that money. I'm going to go to that dang grocery store, which I figured out literally for me to do grocery shopping just for Scott and I. And we're not going to count Baylor, just Scott and I have to go to Whole Foods, Costco, Ralph's, and a local grocery store, Pacific Ranch, and sometimes Trader Joe's. That's 5 grocery stores for 2 people. How many hours does that take me? Right? 5 grocery stores. I wish I could get it all done. 5 grocery stores just to get everything. And y'all, that's just me and Scott. Those of you who have kids galore, listen, the struggle I'm sure is real. How many hours a week? And I was going to the grocery store like sometimes multiple times a week to get to all the places, or because some things are fresh, they go bad. That's a lot of time. And I'm not complaining. I can do it, but I could also, is it worth it to me to say, no, I'm not going to spend that money to do the delivery service for food, because instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to run myself all around town. To me, I would be tripping over the cost, the dollars of the food delivery service to save pennies. And then where does that leave me? Tired, over it, annoyed. That's just an example. You might be wondering, what does this have to do with social media, Roxanne? What does it have to do with network marketing? Well, I'm just curious, how much does your hero product or your big product, your winning product cost? For a lot of you, it costs probably somewhere between $60 and $200. Now, if you are in Color Street or Paparazzi, it's $5. I get it. Yeah. But otherwise, right? So if you're not, probably costs from somewhere about $65 all the way to maybe $200. Now, what I think is so interesting about us is that we have this expectation that people should spend money on the things we want to sell, or should spend money on the kids to join our company. And yet we don't want to do it our dang selves. What is that about? I do believe there's something about not only authenticity, but people read it on you. If you're someone who's like, buy my luxury skincare, and yet you wouldn't, if you weren't exposed to it, right? You're like, you see my point? Like, if we're going to purport that whatever we're selling is worth it, then we should consider that we treat our business like it's worth it as well too. And that does mean I'm not saying, I don't believe in you going into debt to have your business, but it does mean making some business decisions or some personal decisions that can help your business. If, for example, getting and PS, by the way, if you live in like California or Arizona, or I think West Coast, basically, message me, Nevada and Seattle, Washington area, let me know, because I'll give you the name of, it's called Thistle, but I'll give you a coupon to try it. It's amazing. If you live everywhere else, you're going to have to find your own food delivery service, food fixed, cooked for you, all the things. And it's plant-based too, which is why I really like it. I digress, but because I need more vegetables, and that's something that really goes bad quickly. But if you think about it, if we aren't willing to, for our business or things that help us be better at our business or have more time for our business, if we're not willing to consider what type of investments we should be making. Why do we expect someone to invest in our product? So if you have a luxury skincare product and someone's like, that's okay, I'm just going to go to CVS. I'm going to save and go to CVS. And what are you thinking when they do that? You think, all right, but I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, but that thing you buy at CVS is not going to do it. It's going to make it worse. You're going to be coming to me later. So to save money, because they didn't want to spend money on your product, they tripped over those dollars to save money, and they get the CVS thing. No offense to CVS. And then it doesn't do what they want it to do. So they have to come back to you or something comparable to you. They wasted their time and their money, and their face is probably not happy for it. And I know that when people leave and do that, you think, oh, they'll learn. Okay. All right. You're going to get that powder collagen. It's not going to do anything for you. You're going to come back. And yet we do the same thing. Just food for thought. It's food that I'm chewing on for sure. For sure. I mean, in my business, when I'm sitting here with my integrator, Taryn is her name. We'll have to have her on the podcast one day. Oh, that's a great idea. Project. I'm so excited. We're gonna do that. When I think about that, and when we're talking about things, and when I have to make those final decisions, sometimes I'm like, how much does it cost? And sometimes I have to realize, wait, what am I getting? I've stopped myself and go, wait, what's the value? And what is this going to do for a business? And how is it going to help? And that has to be the deciding factor. Now, it may be that like the monetary amount is so much that it's like, yes, I know we need this, and we're going to work towards getting to a point where we can afford that. So that's a thing too. But when we're quibbling, sometimes I'm like, wait, what am I talking about? It's like, how much? I need to relax. I need to sit down, because you know what I know? I know how much it costs me to go to my local grocery store, or not grocery store, my local coffee shop, because Scott did the math on just the times he goes to our local coffee shop, or he went last month, and he said, do you know how much I spent? And I went like 3 times more. So I do know, and I know we talk about that, like it's the price of a cup of coffee. I actually know that if I have a few less teas, not only will it be good for my body, because I guess they put sugar in those, but also that's money that can be spent elsewhere. So when we think about that, is it bad? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to have a few less teas if it's going to help me in another area. So I want you to know, as I'm saying this to you, I'm living that too, and going, okay, how can I tweak that? How can I be a better steward of that? How can I make sure I'm not tripping over dollars to save pennies? Because if we do that math, that's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back, right? That's what it is. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Are you tripping over dollars? The opportunity, if something is a vehicle that can get you even further, and you're hung up on that and you want to save money, so you're going to do it yourself, or you're going to do it a different way, or you're going to like, I'll just use Google University. Okay. How long is that going to take you? And how accurate is that going to be? And are you going to get all the resources and the support you need? No. Google University does not give support. Does not have a community. Just food for thought. Things to consider. Things that make you go, All right. So enough on that. This week has been an interesting week. You have those weeks you're just like, like an emotional, I don't know. It's been a week, not a bad one, just one where I've gone through all the feels. Part of it, like I mentioned, I was at I attended the membership mastermind that Stu McLaren puts on with it for his group for Tribe. And I've been in that group now for a little over a year, in the mastermind group. And there's something that really clicked this time, where I just felt like, I don't know, when you're like, when you just suddenly get it, or you feel more solid. It's not like you didn't get it before, but something, we just were all in tune and simpatico. We've never all met in person, but I did head up to LA County and met up with 2 of the masterminders. And we did one of the days together, which, I really was into that, because I mean, I had to really want to go, because I don't like to drive at all. And I drove up to LA in the morning and drove back. I left at like 4:30 to drive back. And if you know anything about LA traffic, but I did it. And it was so good first of all, I realized, I'm like, we've never actually met in person. How many people on your team have you never met in person? And when you do, you're like, oh my gosh, you're so much taller than I thought. You're so much shorter than you thought. Oh my goodness. But it was so fun to sit with them and experience that, which makes me I miss in-person things. If you didn't get to your convention or if you didn't have convention this year, if it was virtual, and if you haven't had in-person events with your team, you're going to miss that. You're going to be happy when you can get back to that for sure. Cause that was special. It made me realize too, how many of my clients, how many Social Stories members, how many Social Templates Club members I've actually never met in person. That is Wonka do, but it's true. And on the list pre the lockdown of the world, we had planned on making and having an in-person event, but it just solidified that for me even more that that's going to happen. We're going to have an in-person Roxtalks event. And you're all invited. Speaking of Roxtalks, there's some exciting things coming down the pipeline. Taryn would not want me to reveal all things yet, and it's still brewing, but I'm just going to say to you right now, 2022, make sure you're paying attention to the space right now and in 2022, because there's a lot of great things. It's going to be fantastic. One thing I can let out of the bag is that, yes, the Social Media for Network Marketers Summit is coming back. Mark your calendars. It will be the first week in March, I believe. It is coming. So if you're not familiar with that, if you have joined the Roxtalk space prior to or after, since the last one, it is an opportunity where I just bring together top gurus on all things social media who do understand and can talk network marketing. And it's a place for you to get revitalized, for you to get the aha moments. Social media is changing all the time. Man, oh man, today what happened? Instagram announced, hey, that, and if you got my email, as well too, Instagram announced that now every account, no matter who it is, has the link sticker in their stories. Y'all, that's a game changer. Yes, big game changer. And I'm so glad. So you do not have to have 10,000 followers to get that. You guys, that is going to be huge. And network marketers, we're going to have to use it, not abuse it. I'm sure that I will talk about that on one of my lives here pretty soon on Instagram and Facebook. So stay tuned for that. But very excited about the summit. So know that it is coming and it is going to be better than ever, bigger and better than ever, because that's what we do. All right. That's all that I have for you today. It is so good to see you, to thank you for being in this space. I appreciate you so much. Seriously, if you've not grabbed the business tracker bundle, there's not things that I talk about. So in fact, I know that I have a business, so we sell, that's what we do. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you sell too, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not usually one that's you need this. This is what you need. I'm going to tell you, if I haven't said already, you need this. This is what you need. Might as well get it before it goes up to 97, although it is still so worth it at 97. And comparable things, there's nothing out there in the network marketing space, but things for it that are generic are going for even more than this. So I know it's totally worth it. I know that it's going to be a game changer for you, not even for tax season, but all around the year. So make sure, if you don't have it yet, ceobusinesstracker.com. All right. It's so good to see you guys. Yeah, I can't express to you how much I enjoy this podcast. I enjoy getting to connect with you. I would love for you to message me at Roxtalks on Instagram. Let's chat. Let's talk. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you feel are you tripping over dollars to get to pennies? It's something that, like I said, was marinating. I'm we have to talk about this and just talk it through and see how we can prevent that. Let's get the dollars and stop tripping over the pennies. Okay. Well, you get me. You got, you get what I'm saying. All right. I'm out of here. You guys, thank you so much for being here and listening to Roxtalks. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. I'll see you next week for another episode of Roxtalks. Bye.